Welcome back to Seattle Sports Union, the best in Seattle sports commentary. This segment is brought to you by Five Low Sports. Five Low, the originator of the world-famous arm socks. Winter's cold, and so are you. Warm right up to some of the best beanies, scarves, and other toasty gear. Be sure to visit fivelow.com after this show. All right, guys, we have a couple of people out there that want to say hello, and we want to say hello back to them. Hello, Gabriel Perez, and hello, Christy. Christy has actually agreed with you, Ian. She thinks you're right. And
well, I am
wrong.
right, so.
Well, she's wrong. She's entitled to her own opinion, but her opinion is wrong.
What I want to hear from you guys is, I want to hear about the two most powerful teams in the NFC, if not the entire NFL. And earlier this week, we assigned you guys Ian to the offense, Matt to the defense. I want to hear about the Carolina Panthers. They're going to take a break. They're the hottest team going. Ian, what do you see from this offense that you love?
Well, Cam Newton, obviously. I mean, he's going to win the MVP this year. He's been out of his mind all season. He's had the best season of his career. He's done it without a great receiving core, honestly. And honestly, without that great.
Ted Ginn Jr.
Ted Ginn Jr. is pretty good. Greg Olson's obviously good. He's okay. But I mean, it's a decent receiving core, but it's not like groundbreaking.
It's pedestrian.
But I mean, he has the most combined touchdowns between passing and rushing in the league. He has a passer rating over 98, which is below some other quarterbacks we might know here in Seattle, but it's still pretty darn good. and honestly, they've just been killing people all year, and it's just been consistency has been the name of their game all season.
Any problems with the injuries to Olsen and Jonathan Stewart?
From what I hear, the week off shouldn't be an issue for him.
Okay, all right. Matt, you love this defense. You love this Carolina Panthers defense.
I actually don't love it because we have to play against it. At some point, we might have to go through them.
Right.
So I don't love it. I think it's modeled almost kind of similar to Seattle's in how young and the young core, and they're building around it, and they're getting better and better and better every game. It's fun to watch how bad they destroy these offenses and how much they control the clock and control the teams. They've got I'm going to butcher his name, Kuechly.
Kuechly.
You know what?
You should know.
Boston College put out a really good linebacker whose first name is Luke and his last name is that name that I can't pronounce. And I should get credit for at least knowing that much. Who is the best linebacker in the game, if you ask me? Absolutely, without a doubt. Best linebacker in the game. I love Bobby Wagner and I love KJ Wright.
He's better than both of them.
He's better. Sorry. And then they've got Shaq Thompson. Who's getting more and more and more reps in there in the middle, and
that was something that
it's scary.
That was something that we discussed in a show about 6 months ago. Is Shaq Thompson the correct player to have on that team? It did not make sense. That defensive backfield was too crowded, and the linebacker core was too crowded. What have you seen from him that has made him what he is now?
He's what they're doing? They're doing like the Seahawks. We have one of the great things about our defense is that we have like 14 guys who rotate on the line. We have 14 guys who rotate we have like nobody on offense, but everyone on defense. And they do the same model. They just get all these guys in there. So they're getting Shaq all these reps, and he's developing and blossoming into one of the better linebackers / slot corners, hybrid players in the league.
Well, additionally, he's not having to play every down.
The pressure isn't there.
What is the difference between the Carolina defense and the Arizona defense?
Mostly age and experience, probably.
You got an older,
more experienced Cardinal defense. Now currently anchored by Dwight Freeney, who is still a massive load. He got 3 sacks last week.
The Colts were smart getting rid of him.
Yeah, he got 3 sacks last week, and the last time I counted, he only had 1 this week. He might have got another one before the end there.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He's getting $100,000 a sack now on his new contract.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did hear that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I was just going to say about Arizona, just to completely ignore today's game because that's not who that team is.
No, they really aren't.
You'll see a different team in 2 weeks.
They did lose the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, but they've still got plenty of talent back there in the secondary. they were just they didn't show up.
So Arizona lost their defensive coordinator last year, Todd Bowles. They have who's their coordinator right now? The ex-linebacker. It doesn't matter. Anyway, they haven't really changed their defense.
They don't need to. I mean, it's working really well. They've got a great front line there, and they added Freeney to be the pass rush on the edge. And you know, the scary part was he was added just as a backup, and he's played so well. He's worked his way in. You know, I mean, in the secondary is one of the best in the game.
You got your Patrick Petersons of the world. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Patrick Peterson, Tyrann Mathieu, Jefferson back there is pretty good too.
You got Justin Bethel, the other cornerback. He's really good too.
Yeah.
They pick on him, but hey, all he does is stop passing. By the way, want to say hello to Curly Hair Messiah. Thanks for joining us today. Ian, I would like you to take a look at the Arizona offense and tell me what makes this a Super Bowl contender.
Well, with the offense, it all starts with I said with Carolina that Cam Newton is going to be the MVP. Who I think the guy should be the MVP is probably Carson Palmer.
Yeah.
I think the guy is the difference between the Cardinal offense being top tier and between them being garbage, as we saw partially in the game today when he came out. But last year they started 9-1 before he got hurt, and then he got hurt and they win another game. So it's the same kind of thing. He was with him at the helm. They were the number one statistical offense in the NFL on the year, at least heading into this week. I don't know how it ended up this week, but they were the number one offense in the entire league. They've been lighting up the scoreboard all year long. The running game, regardless of who they put back up there, whether it's the first Johnson or now David Johnson. Chris Johnson got hurt earlier in the year. He was having a great season. They put David Johnson back there, and he's been great too, which shows great offensive line blocking up front. The receiving core is top-notch. I mean, Larry Fitzgerald has seen a nice resurgence in his career this year. John Brown has been phenomenal this year, has led my fantasy team to many victories. And like I said, they're going to make some noise in the playoffs. They didn't show up today. That's not the team that they are. They were already into their bye week.
Didn't look like they were using a full playbook, to be honest. But you know, don't forget on offense as well. That offensive line is the culmination of 4 or 5 years of drafts. And they have
stealing
Mike Iwapudi.
The guy we mispronounced in one of our earlier videos.
Yeah.
Somewhere out there, there's
like
a 49er fan that hates us.
Very angry at us because we mispronounced
because
the last
we
name.
mispronounced Mike Iwapudi.
And when
you
you
learned
have
it, didn't you?
one other note, when you have an offense where Larry Fitzgerald is your number 3 wide receiver,
Yes.
your Hall of Fame guaranteed top 3 of all time wide receivers, in my mind, is your 3rd wideout.
Slash blocking tight end.
Slash blocking tight end. Slash whatever they need it to be. Slot receiver. It's incredible.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's a great offense.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna try to find out here in a minute who has won that Packers and Vikings game. But I want to ask you, before we find that score, who's the best of this bunch, Matt? Who's the best of the Packers, the Vikings, and the Redskins?
Oh, that's a real tough question. It depends on which Packers team shows up.
And whether you're talking about week 4 or now.
I'm talking about next week.
Next week.
If we go in, whomever we play.
Next week, Washington Redskins.
Are they hot right now?
I
the
agree.
Redskins?
They're the hottest team right now.
Absolutely.
Out of the 3.
What are you afraid of?
What am I afraid of?
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins has been lights out the whole second half of the season. He's been very underrated, gone under the radar. He's done very well for them.
This just in, looks like the Packers just threw an interception.
Yeah, 2 minutes left.
2 minutes left.
It's now the Vikings ball.
20-13 Vikings. Possible. So with the win against the Vikings,
Yep.
Seahawks are headed to
Minnesota.
No.
Yeah, if Minnesota won, they're going to Minnesota.